What is up, guys? Another day, another dollar. I know what you guys are thinking right now. Why does he look like a Final Form Mexican? I've had a lot of personal shit in my life go down, so that's kind of why I was gone for a little bit. I had some pretty serious things come up, so I haven't really been able to make videos. I just needed, a couple days off to sort of work through that. But here we are. We're back. And yeah, so I was going through my whole thing, and I had some, as I said, some personal issues, and I'm feeling shitty, and I'm feeling stressed, and so I go to get a haircut, right? And I'm like, oh, I think I'll feel a lot better if I look in the mirror and I got this fresh trim. It's kind of like black dudes or light skinned dudes, when they get a lineup. This guy doesn't speak any English, and he fucks my shit up horrendously. You know what I'm saying? And, it was one of those times where you're sitting in the chair, like trying not to cry. And, he's like, oh, you like it? Yeah, I love it. And you tip him and he gives you his card and I fucking tore that shit up in the parking lot. I said a little trim. I was like, hey, I want the same style. I just want it a little shorter. And I look 12. As you also may be able to see, you might be able to tell I've got a camera. I don't really know if the quality is better because it's a tiny screen. I can't really see. Anyway, we got emails and they've been cooking. So we have a really long email here, and I think that's going to be the only email of this video, but I think it's, I'll just read you guys the title. My boyfriend of 5 years left me because he doesn't want to quit his porn addiction. And like we've always talked about, porn over here and, how I think it's detrimental. But let's just read it and see. Hey, Logan, this is my first time emailing, but I'm a big fan of your YouTube and Instagram videos. I love to listen while I eat and stuff. How are you today? I'm pretty good. Pretty good. I hope this reads well because I'm dyslexic, so bear with me if you don't mind because I can offer a pretty interesting perspective. As spoiler, I actually make porn. Dang. Also, I just really need your advice. So hope you don't mind. This is really long. I think it'll be worth the read. Also, I hope with this mic quality, for those of you guys that listen, I know a lot of you do, it's like I hope it's, better quality. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, long story short, the title says it all. My boyfriend just left me 3 days after our 5-year anniversary because he doesn't want to quit his porn addiction, and that has directly been the cause of so much damage in his life and our relationship. I'm concerned for him as well and sad for our relationship since I truly believe our connection is worth fighting for, and this is coming between us to the point where I don't even recognize him anymore, and I doubt he recognizes himself. I've been seeing this man on and off for exactly 5 years now. He took my virginity and was the first person that I've ever dated. We were young and dumb, so at the time, neither of us wanted a relationship when we met. That quickly changed with basically a month of having sex. Since then, I've been ready for a long-term committed relationship with this man. I'm only 22 now, but I've lived a lot of life, and I've always been confident in what I want and did what it took to achieve it. I've been truly trying with every ounce of my being for the past 5 years to make my... Fuck. No, I'm gonna make sure this shit reads well. I've been truly trying with every ounce of my being for the past 5 years of my life to make things work with him and be a good partner to him. I often get told that I'm just young and it's my first love, which I'm sure you will have a similar view of, but I'm incredibly confident in what I want in life, and this is it, him. And other things, of course, but he is a core priority of mine. Something I think is important to mention is he has a very classic boy mom kind of mother. She borderline wants to fuck him because she's actually so obsessed with him, yet was absent for most of his life. Maybe it's one of those things where like, you're not there and then you regret it, so you gotta like make up for all the time you missed. I don't know. And then also like, if one of your parents hasn't been there your whole life, when they finally do come back, it's like, I don't know. He has an avoidant attachment style, most likely stemming from neglect as a child and never seeing a relationship actually work out. His parents were never even dating and just cheated on partner after partner while he was growing up. With all of this and other trauma he has told me about as a kid, he gets really overwhelmed quite easily. The way he was raised seemed to affect the way he views relationships, and he even told me he thinks almost every relationship is doomed. He only has 2 bodies, and he's 25 right now. He was always very off, and on any time he got bored or overwhelmed in a relationship, he would push me away. He finally had a huge crash out, blocked me on everything for around 2 months, which is the longest he's gone before reaching out ever, but came back into my life with an open mind and finally gave our relationship a try. A real try. He moved in 7 months ago and everything. He was living with his dad before that. Things were going well for us. Life felt good and our relationship was thriving. Around a month ago, we had a bad encounter with his pushy mother, which sparked a conversation about how we were both sick of her being so involved in our life and relationship that almost after 5 years, it was time to set boundaries. He sent a text. She asked him to come over, and he left the house so confident and on my team, like we were fully on the same page. He came back an hour later with a voice message of his mother, basically saying the most insane shit I have ever heard a mother say. She fucking hates me, LOL. Well, I mean, it also might be because you make porn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, I'm not gonna, sit here and judge your life choices, but if I had a kid and, I probably wouldn't want them dating a porn star. But at the same time, he's 25 and he's adult. Like, I could put in, what I want to say, but I could really only do so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd probably do a lot, but, at the same time, he's an adult. Makes his own choices. I mean, but yeah, I think the whole porn star thing has something to do with that. She guilts her son so much, and he genuinely has no backbone to stand up to her, so he just lets it all happen and came back a completely different person. His ego was so cooked. He seemed so deflated, upset, lost, and questioning everything. He fully shut down. It was a really difficult thing that we still have yet to resolve because at the end of the day, I'm not the grown man who can defend himself and his relationship to his mommy. That's his place to grow up and handle it. It's just so sad to see how much she affects him and our relationship when everything was going so well. She's so toxic. Yeah, but she's also his mom. It's like you really only have your mom, wife, and daughter. Those are the 3 women that you have in your life. So obviously what she says is going to have some impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what she's saying because you didn't get into that. I don't know. It's hard though, I think, especially if you love your parents a lot. But at the same time, and I would assume that you being a porn star has something to do with it. And so but at the same time, if they were really set on marrying the porn star, they gotta be like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and at that point, it's a grown man, can't say shit about it. So if he's really about it, he would say something. You know what I'm saying? But if he's on the fence, then this probably happens. Last thing is, I think it's important to know that I make porn, but I never consume it. I watched it when I was maybe 9 and got really addicted and went hardcore into it for a while and completely stopped by the time I was 13. It grosses me out seeing other random people doing shit, let alone turn me on, ? I am also in an industry where I see naked bodies all the time, so I feel desensitized to it. He also makes porn with me. He's the only person I make it with. I'm on OF. But he's told me for years that he feels the same way about it. That it's sad how people can get addicted and it ruins marriages and it's gross, etc. I believed him fully for 5 years until the other night. Okay, let's see where this is going. After his convo with his mom, tensions were high because he was shutting down fully. She's said he didn't care about literally anything anymore and he feels very disconnected. Our sex was still happening and still solid, but sometimes there was issues or weird vibes, and I could never understand why because our sex life is usually perfect. This time, he was doing it from the back, like bone prone, like I'm laying on my tummy. He ended up pushing my head down pretty hard, and I couldn't feel where his other hand was, and felt like the vibes were really off. It didn't feel how it normally felt. So I pushed my head up really hard and fast. He closed his phone and tried to lie to me about it, till he then gave in, told me he was watching porn, and showed me an AI video of a girl with a huge ass taking it from the back. He didn't know it was AI. Damn, dude. That's crazy. You're literally in the moment doing it, and you got your phone out. That's beyond, bro. That's beyond me. That's addicted. That is like, if there was ever addiction, like, it's one thing if a guy like, well, this, it's still addiction if a guy doesn't have any sex or intercourse. It's another thing when he's literally doing it and has his phone out watching. Yeah, addiction is definitely the word. You know what I'm saying? He told me he searched the word sluts on Twitter and has also revealed that quote unquote sluts are currently his biggest kink. I obviously felt super violated. I could go on for hours about the details of this whole thing that just make it worse and worse, but part of it that really bothers me is that I make porn. I literally am what he's searching up. Bro, like, I will literally do anything with him and have no limits. I'm not sure how much of this can be shared on YouTube, but just adding for context, I have his name. Ooh, I don't know if I could say that. She's just listing out a bunch of kinky things they do. I'll just skip that shit. I don't know, it's gonna get age restricted. I'm an incredibly submissive girl who genuinely just wants to serve this man. I've spent hours under his desk, straight up kissing on his soft meat because that is my passion. We make the most insane videos together. Someone literally paid $2.9 thousand just for one of our videos because they're so crazy. And I've always told him I'll literally make any video for him because he likes my solo stuff. I pride myself on being a good slut for him. A damn loyal one at that. I have no attraction to anyone else besides him. We even have a whole slave pet contract. Yeah, here's the thing. I feel like porn is so prevalent in your household that it's super easy to get addicted to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just another day. So, like, why? You know, it's like if you're around a bunch of, like, let's say anyone that does anything addictive, you know, like, like if you were like, if everyone around you was popping Zins and vaping for 5 years, you're probably more likely to get addicted to nicotine than someone who isn't around that. And I think it's just like, because it's so prevalent, like, you make it, he probably, if you have friends that do it, and he sees them and meets them, like, it's probably way easier to get addicted than the average person. I was already worried about him because he has a very addictive personality, addicted to video games, weed, gambling, caffeine, nicotine, TikTok, etc. Yeah, so then porn would probably be at the top of that list because it's so addictive. It's why people can't quit. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where it's like, we'll get into that later. And don't get me wrong, I literally love to have a gamer boyfriend who is always down to smoke with me because that's some of my favorite things in life, but he really just uses these things with no balance at all. I was getting worried because we started gradually only having sex, or he would be able to finish if he was watching my cosplay solo videos. Straight up like Goon Cave setup with multiple monitors. Me twerking on one, sucking in another, solo on another, Ahigo drooling and shit on the next. It's hot, and don't get me wrong, I can totally get into the total hypersexual goon thing, but I've always been more sexual and kinky and hornier than he is. But it's hot sometimes, not every time. Damn, this email's long as shit. It seemed like he really just needed that shit every single time. Yeah, that's probably how you get addicted to it too, because, like, you watch so much porn of your girl, and then, you know, you've been watching the same videos and over and over again, then you're just gonna keep going. It hurts because all of the videos he watched are of really thick girls. Almost fat, TBH, and I'm 5'8", 110 pounds. I'm very petite and thought that was his type, but he said he actually prefers girls who are, in my opinion, fat as fuck with a tummy and big asses and shit. Yeah, that'd be hard. I mean, it's one thing to catch your partner watching stuff, and it's another to see the stuff they're watching is the opposite of you. This is long. When I caught him watching porn, I felt like I was being violated, but I'm the type to please people, so I told him if he wants to keep going, I would, because again, it's my passion just to serve him. He told me to suck it and started scrolling his Twitter porn like it was TikToks. He ended up getting close and then pulled out his phone in my face, showing me some gross ratchet girl getting a facial and said, "Isn't that hot?" Like, no, it's not hot. He knows how uncomfortable porn makes me and still did that to me and ended up nutting on nutting to her face while I gave him head. You don't even need to say it, though. I know I should have had more self-respect than that, but I just didn't know what to do because I really love this man and want more than anything to make that shit work. So badly that even after going through his phone and finding years of texting other girls and watching porn on weird sites like 4chan and him saying that he wants to go do things with other girls, I still want to stay. Well, it's your fault. I mean, I think you're like too obsessed with him or something, that you're like, it's not healthy to, like, yeah, you should always put your partner first, but not to this degree. It's a little unhealthy, not when it starts detrimenting your life. I bet that's what I bet that's how cucking started, like where their partner just wanted them and they were so obsessed with their partner, they're like, just go do it and I'll sit in the corner and watch, because they're just the self-respect is gone. It's probably going to lead to this. He's probably going to be like, oh yeah, let me get with other girls, and like, I'd love it if you just sat in the corner and gave me a pep talk while it's going down. I believe wholeheartedly that this is all happening because of an addiction that he's had since he was 12. I've done so much research, so I truly believe there's a way through, but he's not willing anymore. Yeah, see, like, you can't quit an addiction unless the first step you admit it's a problem. I'm pretty sure they tell people that in like AA and shit. And the thing about porn is it's so addictive, but you can also like get by so easily comparatively if you were like addicted to drinking. Like you can't even function in your daily life, but with porn you can. So it's like the only reason someone would quit would be like, one, they became extremely religious and that took precedence, so they were like, I'm gonna quit, or two, it's destroying their life and they hit rock bottom. So those are the two reasons, or it's destroying their relationship that they care about. But if they don't care about it enough, then yeah, they're gonna let it destroy the relationship, I think, at least. I don't know, man. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. He said he's gotten bored of me, lost attraction to me, and honestly, he just seems like he doesn't want me at all anymore. So why are you with him? There's someone out there that might be okay with the fact that you do porn and stuff like that. It hurts, and I just want to stand up for myself and not be with someone who doesn't even find me attractive. ... But he used to, ? He always has, ? I simply cannot help but see where it is all coming from. I know you were against porn and hookup culture as well, so I'm sure you know what I mean and the damage it causes. He found me incredibly attractive for years and has always really liked me, so I can't help but make the connection that porn is causing this damage over time. Yeah, probably. Making him get used to a variety and the next best thing so he gets bored easily. And I think, like, once again, part of the problem is the fact that you guys do that. The only way out, it seems like, unless you quit, is like Adam 22 and you become like a huge cuck and everyone's like, you become a swinger basically, which in my eyes is disgusting. Let's see. He found me incredibly attractive for years and has always really liked me, so I can't help make the connection that porn. Also just feeding into the lust and giving so much of his attraction to other people instead of focusing it on me. And look, guys, I've been saying this, and here's a porn star telling you the same thing. I cannot help but believe he would go back to finding me attractive if he was able to acknowledge the issue, realize that it's probably where his boredom and loss of attraction is coming from, and then change. Yeah, but you can't force change on someone else, especially not like something like this. It kind of has to come intrinsically. As much as people would love if they could just like force change on someone else, like it's not how it works, I know this is a hard addiction to stop, so I can be patient, but if he's not willing and he really just wants to watch porn right now because he's so addicted, sorry, I read this wrong. Not for my sake and our relationship. I do want him to quit, but for him as well. This man has been so in love with me for so long, and I truly know I make him happier than anything else he ever has. So deep down, I know he wants true happiness. But right now, he's so lost in the porn mind, he genuinely believes he will find it in meaningless sex and porn. He didn't used to think that way. It's the porn addiction talking. At first, I asked him if he would change, and he said no, that this was the deal breaker. I told him to get with whoever he wants and watch porn, and that I would fully embrace it if that's what it meant to keep our relationship alive until he's ready to see change and finally sees the harm. Yeah, that's pathetic as fuck, you know. You know, let's see. I've caught him in countless lies, caught him jerking off in my bathroom and hiding it. He's been a compulsive liar. So, I mean, I'm going to try and speedrun the end of this. He still lives with me. Yeah, I'm going to try and speedrun this. He still lives with me because his dad's place is unhygienic and unsafe to return to, so I insisted on him staying here. I mean, what are you, his mom? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a grown-ass man, dude. He's got to handle his own shit, bro. And, you know. Okay, I'm going to speedrun to the end. I'm so Horsemeet. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to handle this. I know deep down he'd be happy quitting and all the positive results that would come from it, but he's so unwilling and thinks that embracing it will yield more positive results. I've been trying to educate him on how harmful it is for his sake, but he shuts down and walks away anytime I bring it up because he's that close-minded right now. He gets in these phases where nothing can get to him until he snaps out of it and is logical again. In my mind, he's leaving and choosing these things because he doesn't want to be bored. And he wouldn't get bored if he had this deep addiction. Okay, so I think it's like, please help. I don't know what the best course of action is here to avoid as much pain and drama and wasted time as possible. What do you think would lead a man to either hit rock bottom or lock in and want to quit porn? Finally, keep in mind this guy is kind of on both spectrums. He's really hot, jacked, charismatic, and has a huge meat. He could get anyone he wants, but he's also low-key a huge pussy. Super self-conscious and anxious. It's like, dude, though, he's fucking 25. Like, bro, you're older than me, dude, and you're acting like a teenager. Like, you gotta grow up at some point and just be a man. You know what I mean? And handle your problems, you know? And honestly, like, I think you're just, like, enabling him, low-key. Yeah, I think you're enabling the shit out of him. You're just doing whatever he wants, and he knows that no matter what he does, you're just gonna, you know, sit there and take it, you know, like a punching bag, like a weak punching bag. You basically do anything, and you'll just, it's fine, or I'll stay. Like, he knows there's really no, like, there's no consequence to his action. Like, so I feel like for a real relationship to work, I think you need to have that, like, equal dynamic, as much as, like, the pet slave thing is like whatever, but if you want a serious emotional connection, you kind of need that equal, you know. So I would just leave him and, like, hopefully the loss of that will, like, make him, you know, realize, but, like, it needs to be real. You know, you can't just leave him with the thought of, like, oh, I'll come back as soon as he's fixed, because then it's like he knows that you're just going to come back. I think you need to just be ready to end it all. I know the wasted time, all this other shit, but it's just going to be even more down the line. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta leave, with the intention that it's over, and start looking for somebody else, honestly, and then maybe down the line, he'll get it together. But if you're really just banking on that, like, and he knows that too, because someone who's been with you for 5 years knows how you are, you know, if you kick him out, you know, it's like, bro, I don't know, you know, and I would just leave. As hard as that is, probably not the answer you wanted, but, you know, it's like, it's not going to get fixed, because if you leave and, like, with the intention of coming back, why would he fix? He knows that you have that intention. Why, like, what is there to fix? Like, oh, I haven't lost anything. Or he'll say it, and then it'll be a whole nother cycle of lies, and then you'll just be back in the same position now in, like, 2 years. So it's like, yeah, honestly, just leave until he, you know, just leave. Fuck it. Anyway, that's it for today's video. This is long as fuck, and I'm testing out this camera. I'm probably going to test out a new thumbnail too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry for the break. I just had a lot of shit going on, but I'll catch you guys in the next one. Code Horsemeet on Civil Regime and Iron Crew. There's actually a drop May 1st on Civil Regime. Mortal Kombat drop. Code Horsemeet. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, also the Horsemeet t-shirts as well. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.